Hey air sign, how are you? This is for you guys, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for August 11th and 12th, the weekend, the week's end. Let's see what's going on for you guys. You've been kind of love the air signs lately. You guys have been so awesome. You're just like, don't care, don't care. I love you. Okay, so let's see what's happening. There really is this like zero fucks given feel, which I kind of am like totally in awe of, in total admiration of. So let's see what's going on for you. What is happening? It's good. That's really good. You know why that's good? Because you are your own people. You are your own person. No one's pushing you around. That's good. Hooah. All right, let's see. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Wow. You know me in the Tower. Tarot for me is all about context. It could be like an aha moment, or it could be like you get fired, right? Like, so it always feels big though. Okay, it always feels big, air sign. Always feels big. Hoo-ah. Look at you. Look at you. Feel like you're connected to an earth sign here. Let's see what's going on here. Wow, Queen of Swords. There's a lot of people here. There's a lot of people here. Okay, hang on one second. You got a lot of people. I like it. I like that no one pushes you around. Okay, so Tower here. Hangman is the overarching energy of this reading, which is enlightenment, okay? This is about enlightenment, yeah. It's about enlightenment and what is... It's like, what do you want, okay? Do you want to be stuck? Do you want to be hanging around? Do you want to be waiting for somebody? Would you rather be the one who makes the choices for yourself? Are you letting someone else choose something for you? What's going on here? So I feel like you can be connected to this King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, stable. There's a situation around you that is controlling and unhealthy. You're seeing it, and you're blasting through it. Okay? So, even if you might have waited for a while, even if you might have waited in anticipation of this person coming into your life for love, for stability, they're quite controlling here. There's quite a controlling feel about this. But it feels like up until now, you've been okay with it, or you have been in it and held on to it. You've held on to it. Okay? I love the Queen of Swords down here. Zero fucks given. Talk about zero fucks given. Seriously. And so the thing that made you be like, what? Is that you were not getting back anywhere near what you were giving. Air sign. If you were giving so much to this other person and they were sort of giving out their love with like an eyedropper, there's a feeling here of them being stuck in something materialistic. It is about power. Adler, that's the psychiatrist. Okay, so I think I said this in a reading the other day, talking about Freud used to talk about relationships as sex. Everything was sex to him, right? And I believe he's been largely undercut by more recent studies and other things. There's a guy named Adler who talks about relationships as all about power. Who's got it, who doesn't. And when you're in a this emperor devil energy, that's That's like not normal. Who's in charge of the relationship and who isn't? You know, you've been in relationships where you've been the one who feels in control of the situation. You've been in balanced situations, and then you've also been in situations where you feel like you're not in control, right? So this one you might have not been in control of because the other person is so all about power. And it might have been not overtly obvious to you because it seemed like they wanted stability, they wanted love. It could be you're connected to someone who's married here. I feel like if you're feeling stuck in this situation, that's what the Tower is. The Tower is like, hey, time to move on, okay? So if you've waited, Seven of Pentacles here, Queen of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, Emperor. That's also control. It's like you've been in this dance like this. And the awakening happens here about the power imbalance or about the struggle. The struggle is real. The struggle is real. So Queen of Swords here cuts that. Air sign. Love you. Queen of Swords here cuts that. And there can be a situation of like, what? Nothing's going on here. I don't know what you're talking about. Two of Pentacles. I don't know what you're talking about. It's no big deal. There's nothing happening here. Nothing to see here. No big deal. But you know. You know. Maybe you've done some meditating. Maybe you've been in meditating and you've observed your own holding on to this person. You've observed your own participation in this, even if it wasn't healthy. Devil energy here. Even if it wasn't healthy or controlling, like what's your role in this, right? It takes two to tango. So what's your role in this? But then also understanding, you know, that I love the scene from Good Will Hunting when he's with Robin Williams, when Matt Damon's with Robin Williams, and the whole thing is, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. It makes me cry like every time I see that movie. Because the guy's been abused, right? If you've been in a situation where you're replaying old relationships, you're replaying old connection, you're replaying these scripts that was okay to be connected to somebody in this uneven, very uneven situation. And in that movie, he's like, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. And the whole point is like, it's not your fault that someone abused you. But now, what do you do with that? Now that the awakening happens here, and I'm not saying everybody's abused. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that unconscious patterns can develop over a lifetime, especially when we're in relationship and we've not been able to really come to terms with, why isn't this working for me? Why isn't this working for me? And a lot of it is like, okay, so I'm blowing up old patterns, but then don't fall into the, oh my God, I'm so terrible, I've had all these patterns, I'm not a perfect person place. No, it's just like, recognize those patterns here as unhealthy. Now you have a choice. Right now you see it. You're like, oh my God, this was totally unhealthy for me. Queen of Swords, discernment. Be discerning now. You see, now you're not allowed. Now that you see the pattern here, you're not allowed because you're like, okay, now I know it. If it was unconscious, that's one thing, right? You're going through it and you're like, why isn't this working? Why am I always attracted to married men? Why am I always stuck in these patterns? But now you see it. Now you see the pattern, the unhealthy pattern of imbalance. Okay, Six of Pentacles. Why am I always attracted? This feels like a third party situation. Why am I always stuck in these things, right? And again, third party can be workaholism, can be alcoholism, can be addictions, right? Can be married, but doesn't have to be, right? This feels like they're stuck. If this other person is also stuck in their own little unhealthy pattern, and you're drawn to them to sort of help them. So now, being Queen of Swords, being air sign, guys, you can no longer be like, nothing to see here. I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing to see here. If a situation feels unhealthy to you and you still pursue it because it's your patterning or what you've learned growing up, it's still unhealthy. Okay? Just because you learned it as a kid or you learned it growing up or this feels like love to you doesn't mean it is. Okay? Just because you hear hoofbeats behind you doesn't mean it's a zebra. It's probably, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably a horse, right? Seeing the truth. Not trying to go over here for something that isn't really the truth. Okay, so being in this Queen of Swords, you move from being in this loving place to a passionate place, to a waiting place, to a discerning place. Queen of Swords. Cutting through the bullshit for yourself. And then the final card here, Page of Pentacles, knowing your value, knowing your worth. And knowing that this situation, there could be fire signs here, there could be earth, could be air, it could be anything, Capricorn, right? It's just, let's see, devil energy here. Nine of Pentacles, something about money. This person, King of Pentacles, if you're connected to an earth sign, they're very trapped in this situation because of money. That makes them feel confident. Three of Wands, could be third party here. Also, this is what they have manifested. This is what you have manifested. Right? Six of Cups. You guys are totally soulmates. Okay? And this is the lesson of this soulmate, right? There's a lot of different kinds of soulmates. I guess I'm going to need to do a video on this, aren't I? There's a lot of different kinds of soulmates. And this is like a karmic soulmate because you have the Devil and the Tower and the Emperor here. Emperor is seeking to control the situation, either you or them, both of you. Seeking to control the situation. King of Wands, I like it. Letting go of control, right? Letting go of control. Eight of Swords, not feeling like a victim here. Page of Wands, really an offer to be in something healthier. Letting go of this controlling situation. A lot of what's keeping you here might be like, well, they're my twin flame or they're my soulmate and I have to because this is what the universe wants for me. You do realize that you can co-create, you are co-creating with the universe. This is in your life for a reason. You brought this into your life, right? What did he say? It's like, he's the victim of the thing, but you don't stay victimized. Right? You don't stay victimized. So, preferring to stay in victim mentality, Eight of Swords here, Devil energy, you have a choice. You can elevate yourself out of this control into this King of Wands. And, you know, all apologies to the Emperor. The Emperor really is an awesome guy. It's just when we see it with the Devil card, the context of it brings out that controlling nature of it. And staying and waiting is part of controlling it. I know you don't see it that way, but for you, all we're concerned about is you right now is elevating yourself out of this. There's somebody better for you. Queen of Wands here. So letting this in, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault. But then what do you do with it, right? Where you start is not about you, but where you end is about you, right? You are responsible for where you end up. What you do with that. And a lot of times people who have unhealthy patterns or whatever hold on to them because they think that's to let them go and to forgive themselves and to forgive anybody who contributed to those unhealthy patterns is like, no, not doing it, right? Because you feel like to let that go is sort of like letting them off the hook. But really, you're letting yourself off the hook. Who cares about those other people? That's why that's why forgiveness is so important. Because you're forgiving yourself. It's not your fault. Let it go. So now you can have a healthy life. That's the whole point of Goodwill Hunting. He keeps himself as a janitor. No disrespect to janitors. They're awesome. But his gift is being completely drowned out by his inability to see the specialness of him, and he believes he's shit because of what happened to him. And he's holding on to that. That professor sees his gift and is like, okay, he's staying in this other place. He's staying away from Minnie Driver. He's staying away from all this stuff because he doesn't feel he deserves it. Right? And then he gets it one over on that kid who's a jerk to him and everything like that. I love the scene where he goes, hey, you like apples? The kid goes, yeah. It's like, got her phone number? How do you like them apples? I love it. I always cheer, right? Matt Damon. Of course, it's a Boston kid, right? It's a local guy. So, anyway, so you guys need to understand that it's all about recognizing your own value and worth here so you can unstick yourself from this. All right, we're going to do an extended read on this, if you can believe it. The link is below. I like that you're getting enlightened, though. This is an aha moment, right? We started off the reading going, oh my God, it's the tower. This is an aha moment. It's good. All right, the link is below for the extended air sign for August 11th. End of Lionsgate. See you over.